Most people won't change. And I don't mean they'll try and fail. I mean, they'll go their entire life feeling exactly the way they feel right now and never do anything about it. You know the feeling I'm talking about. You hit snooze. You tell yourself tomorrow. You walk past the mirror. You look back faster than you used to. You sit down after a long day. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you think, I really need to do something about this. Then you turn on the TV. And then you do it again the next day. And the day after that. I did that for years, okay? And I told myself it was just my circumstances. I told myself it was just bad timing. I told myself a lot of things. January 2022, I was in a bad place. I'm talking about the bad kind of place where you stop recognizing yourself, where you're avoiding pictures, where you just kind of go through the motions and call it life. Now I'm over 80 pounds down from that version, almost 90. And the only reason is that the pain of staying the same finally got louder than the fear of changing. That's the whole game. Everything else is details. You will not change until staying the same hurts more than changing does. And most people never hit that point, not because they're weak, but because there are very specific things working against them that nobody ever names out loud. I'm going to name them. And I promise at least one of them is going to hit you somewhere real. Now, let's start off with the 4 reasons people don't change. Reason number 1, your identity is already locked in. Your brain just doesn't store habits. It stores a story about who you are. And here's where it gets brutal. If you walk around saying things like, I just have a big back, I'm just a big guy, it's genetics. I'm just not a gym person. You've already ended the fight before it started. You've convinced yourself at the identity level that change is not possible for you. And your behavior will follow that story every single time. You do not act your way into a new identity. You have to believe the new identity first, and then the actions follow. I did not become a guy trying to lose weight. I became a guy taking care of himself. Huge difference. I'll come back to that in a minute. Reason number 2, your pain isn't painful enough yet. I know that sounds cold, but it's true. Most people will change eventually, but only when staying the same becomes more uncomfortable than the unknown of changing. And here's the thing about the unknown. It terrifies us. We've all seen a horror movie. We all know that fear. So I want you to think about it this way. You're out in the woods. It's dark. And I tell you that there is a better life on the other side. Or I tell you there's $1 million on the other side. You just have to walk through the darkness to get there. Sadly, most people would turn around and walk towards the light they already know. Not because they don't want a better life, but because that darkness is unknown and the light, even if it's not great, is familiar. The status quo always feels safer than the unknown until it doesn't. Reason number 3, you have vague dissatisfaction versus a clear vision. Think about this. A lot of people are unhappy. But being unhappy is not the same as having a clear vision of what you actually want. You know what you don't want. You don't want to feel this way. You don't want to keep struggling. You don't want to look in the mirror and feel what you feel. But what do you want? One of my favorite personalities of all time was Jim Rohn, and he was relentless on this. Goals have to be written, specific, and emotionally charged. And it also helps to make them smart. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time frame. I want to lose weight is not a goal. It's a wish. Or for me, here's what it goes like now. I'm going to weigh 145 pounds and be 15% body fat by lifting weights and walking 5 days a week and remaining in a calorie deficit. That's a direction your brain can actually move towards. Vague dissatisfaction just keeps you stuck in a fog. A clear vision gives you something to walk towards. And reason number 4 that you do not make it is your environment overpowers your intention. This is a big one. And I've got a personal example that I'm almost too embarrassed to share because it literally happened last night, but it makes sense. I don't eat much sugar. I know how bad it is for me. I know how big I used to be. I also know that even at 150 some pounds, I still don't have a healthy relationship with food. So I was at the store, I was in a bad mood, and I wanted a small snack, something a little sweet but reasonable. So I bought a pack of these little 80-calorie chocolate chip cookies from Aldi. And the plan was to have one pack, which has 6 little cookies, with my low-carb ice cream, which would, give me a little bit of sugar, but I could enjoy it. It'd be controlled, reasonable, and before I knew it, I was out of cookies. Yeah. So that 80-pound pack, 80 pounds, that'd be a big old pack of cookies. That 80-calorie pack that was supposed to just be one at 80 calories ended up being 8 of them. And that's 640 calories on top of the ice cream. My environment told me I was going to have a hard time eating healthy, and it was right. So here's the harsh truth. Willpower is weak. Most people don't want to accept that. They think they can just battle past it. You can't do it. I promise I can't do it. I hope you can. It'd be cool, but I don't know if it can happen. We want to believe that if we just want it bad enough, we'll overcome our surroundings. We won't, at least not consistently and not long term. If your environment doesn't support change, the odds are against you, regardless of your motivation. For me, those cookies shouldn't have been in the house. So that might be why people don't change. But now I want to talk to you about why some people do, and not just change, but sustain it and keep it going. Look at me. In January of 2022, I hated my life. Not just a little bit, I genuinely hated it. And I knew that I could not stay the same. Something had to break, and it did. Here are the 5 things that I believe create real lasting change. Reason number 1, a crisis or a pain point that breaks your pattern. For some people, that's a health scare. For other people, it's rock bottom. Maybe it's a relationship, a career, or your self-worth. For some, it's losing someone. Whatever it is, usually something happens that makes the cost of staying the same undeniable. You just can't do it. And that kind of moment can absolutely trigger change. But here's what I've learned. It triggers it. It doesn't sustain it. If that moment is all you have, you will drift back. You need more than a spark. You need fuel as well. Reason number 2, you need a new identity, not just new behaviors. I said this earlier and I want to drive it home. I didn't become a person trying to lose weight. I became a person who takes care of himself. When you're trying to lose weight, the second you stop losing, you stop. The second life gets hard, you stop. You're performing a behavior. You become someone who takes care of themselves. That's who you are. The behavior flows from that. That shift in how you see yourself is everything. I mean everything. And you're capable of more than you know. Reason number 3, small wins create momentum. Change does not show up all at once. It never does. It never has. But one small visible result does do something that nothing else can do. It rewires your belief that change is possible for you, not just for someone else, for you. That first 5 pounds, that first week you hit all your workouts, that first time that someone notices, those aren't just small wins. They aren't just progress. That's evidence. And your brain needs evidence before it fully commits. Don't wait until you're transformed to believe in yourself. Look at the small wins and let them build. Reason number 4, itchy nose. Reason number 4, proximity to people who are already there. Now, whether you realize it or not, you absorb the standards of the people around you, quiet and consistently without even noticing it. Tony Robbins says it plainly. Proximity is power. And this isn't just about your friends. It's about the content you consume, the podcasts you listen to, the YouTube channels you watch, the communities that you are a part of. If you keep watching shows that numb your brain, watching videos that just make you laugh, and spending your time with people who aren't going anywhere, I'm not saying cut everyone off. I'm saying add people who are already where you want to be, because you will rise or fall to the level of your environment. And reason number 5, you need a compelling future you can feel. This is the one that sealed it for me. I didn't just want to be healthier. That was never going to be enough. I wanted to be a man that could lead other people out of the swamp that I personally was drowning in. I wanted to stand in front of someone who felt exactly how I felt, broken, stuck, invisible, and show them it's possible. And I mean it because I'm living it. It's a very, very compelling future. That's something with weight behind it. It cannot be vague. It has to be vivid, emotionally real, something you can close your eyes and see and feel. The emotional pull of where you're going has to become stronger than the comfort of where you are. If someone doesn't believe they can change or doesn't want to, I'd bet everything I have that they either don't have a clear picture of what they want or they don't really want anything. Okay. I want to leave you with this. Change is possible. I know that sounds like something you've heard 1,000 times, but I need you to hear it from someone who had every reason not to change. I was over it, but I did it anyways. January of 2022, I was not doing well. I was not in a good place. And I made a decision not to be perfect, not to get it figured out, just to stop letting the pain of staying the same be something that I was willing to live with forever. Just couldn't happen. Now, over 80 pounds later, here I am, building something, trying to reach people who are right where I was. And if I can do it, and I mean this, anybody can. You don't have to have it all figured out today. You just have to decide that the light that's on the other side of the darkness is worth walking toward. If this hits you and you want to take one practical step today, I want you to check out STAX Nutrition at staxnutrition.net. There's a link in the description that'll get you 15% off your order. These are the products that have been part of my own journey. You can see the table behind me. Oh, wrong way. All stuff that I either am using or have used. I didn't start collecting until I started working here. So like now I'm just not throwing stuff away and we're going to build that wall. Can you still say that? I don't know. I can tell you that I do not recommend things that I do not believe in. I believe in these. And please hit like and subscribe because I am building a community here on this channel. And by the end of this year, it will be in person in Radcliffe. You do not have to do this alone. See you in the next one.